Hey friends, welcome back to another episode of Getting Close Up, the show focused on independent artists and creatives. I'm your host, Danielle Cox, and while I have your attention, go ahead and like, subscribe, follow us on Instagram, help us support independent artists. Join the GCU fam today. You know you want to. Stop playing. Today, my guest brings people into their colorful, wonderful world with the motto, life's more fun when you're upside down. Today, we are getting close up with Delilah Sugarwood. Hello.
Hello.
Welcome. Actually, let me back up and do it right. Welcome to the stage, Delilah Sugarwood. Let me just do it correct. Bring you in right. How are you doing?
I am so good. Thank you so much for having me here today.
I love you just made a whole atmosphere for yourself in here today. You got your, what I'm calling your emotional support rope.
It is. I didn't realize that until you said it, but that's 100% what it is. It's going to be that for the rest of my life. So
you're very welcome. Definitely. I'm glad I can help you make that realization today.
Yes.
And then, of course, the shoes. Get the shoes. Get the shoes.
The shoes.
Okay, get the shoes. I was like, all right, because you know you're going to be sitting down.
I'm sitting down. We don't have to walk.
And that's the best for sitting.
Yes.
Okay.
So, no handstands today.
We'll get into that. Tell me a little bit more about that motto, about life being more fun when you're upside down.
Life's more fun when you're upside down. I don't know. It's just kind of a catchy little shtick. And I just, whenever I was starting out and building my page, it made sense and it was fun. And yeah, and I just like to think of myself as a little dandelion growing in a concrete jungle.
I love that.
Yeah.
Dandelion growing in a concrete jungle.
They're just cute little expressions that I've adopted. So.
Well, then too, it is kind of your signature move I'm seeing. The whole upside down. She's athletic.
For me, it's safer than a split. So.
A split and a handstand.
And especially a death drop.
You know what? Oh, okay. Well, we not, because even the pros have broken bones doing that.
That's trauma.
That is trauma.
We have enough trauma. We don't need any head trauma.
We're not trying to add more trauma, especially not head trauma. It's scrambled eggs by itself, naturally.
Yeah. With
being right side up. So you are very athletic. Like, is that something, were you ever into, like, was it yoga or?
Yeah, so I quite a few people have asked me about this, and it's funny because like I never grew up. I did gymnastics as a kid.
But, oh, okay, there you are.
But so yes, that's kind of the foundation as far as the handstands and the cat-cow and the fun stuff, the going upside down. And yeah, I grew up doing gymnastics, and then I kind of quit at an early age, but it always stayed with me, and just kind of I wasn't really much for team sports or, but yeah, then I kind of fell into yoga later in life, and that really helped me. It was good mental clarity and a good
awareness
time to
of your body too.
Yeah, for sure. And it was kind of a more, I think, mature branching and kind of pulling it in some of that gymnastic stuff that really appealed to my inner kiddo, and kind of applying it in an adult way. And so, yeah, and I'm a drag queen and I get to do fun stuff with it. And
most people that do drag probably don't think the first thing I'm gonna do is go upside down, because everything that it takes the effort to do right side up, the dynamics change when you're upside down.
I guess not. My first thought actually was just like, I don't know if my wig's gonna stay
that's
on.
The
but
thing.
Surprisingly, not one has fallen off. Now that's
perfect.
I need to,
right, find some wood to knock on. I'll help you out.
Exactly.
That's exactly what I mean. Like, that would be, aside from wearing white, another thing that a drag queen probably wouldn't want to do. Be upside down.
It's harder on the neck, yes.
That's awesome. But you look good doing it. And so that's exactly what matters.
Thanks.
Who is, because you've taken you not only are you a drag queen, but you also follow a lot of drag artists, and you're a fan. Definitely a fan of drag. Yeah. Who's your favorite drag queen?
Ooh, oh gosh, drag's, I mean, so expansive.
It is so expansive. You can break it down into like somebody who's super famous and somebody who's local, however you want to do it.
Yeah, so, I mean, Jinx Monsoon is just kind of, cream of the crop. She's easily one of the most talented drag artists.
In Little Shop of Horrors.
Yes, and just where she's taking drag is exceptional. Local drag, I live for, Cora Kay.
Yeah.
She's one of my favorite local queens.
Nice.
I love Manic High and and it's fun getting to know like lots of different local drag artists. And like Minty Varieties just won Drag Survivor.
Ooh.
So that's,
Okay.
yeah, shout out to Minty, she's
Nice.
wonderful. And it's cool now that drag is building, it's going new places, and so many different kinds of drag artists are also coming out.
Hitting mainstream in a way that's
Yeah.
just...
And there's the Boulay Brothers, which have Jaharia just got casted
Yes,
on
I just
there,
saw
and
that.
Yes, so
Very much.
it's really cool. So
It's blowing up a lot of people out of Kansas City. A lot, because of course Q was just on a season of Drag Race. It's just so many people. What has been your experience doing drag here?
That's an interesting question. So I started in January. So I'm
Oh, so you just got on it here.
kind of, yeah.
Love that.
I'm kind of a little
She
baby
knew.
queen, yeah.
She baby.
Yeah.
love
So it's been fun. It's been a very fast learning process. Time has flown by.
That learning curve.
Because it feels like I've been doing it for so long, which is probably just because it's so taxing. But it's,
It's like you might as well be Batman, how taxing it is, right?
yes, exactly. I feel more like Robin, but yes. No, but I kind of fell into drag kind of naturally. I didn't really have a good appreciation or understanding of it for a really long time. I didn't start watching Drag Race until I think season 10
Oh, wow,
or so,
okay.
whenever Monique Hart was
Yep.
on. And so I was a little bit older, and I was in school at the time, and so it was, that was a good distraction and a fun interest and something that I would go and see. And then I've always kind of been artistic and had, just the creative spark to, draw and paint and just sculpt and create and all that jazz. So at a certain point, I guess, viewing the shows, I was just like, I would have done this a little bit differently, or like, ooh, that would be cute if I did, or like, I just started noticing like I was kind of critiquing, and then at a certain point I was like, I need to give this a go. I need to do this for myself, because if I'm gonna have something to say, then I better be able to walk the walk. So
Exactly.
and I, just it's wonderful.
Walking is, you don't know until you walk a mile in their pleasers.
Exactly, and honey.
And forget a mile, like 5 feet. That's the task.
Yes, especially in 10-inch heels.
5 feet.
That's why it's easier to be upside down.
And now it all makes sense.
Now it all makes sense.
There's
See,
layers.
I'm just cheating the system.
As long as your wig stays on, you are cheating the system.
Exactly. Yes.
I love it. Now, as far as, because you said you met a lot of people here locally, some people kind of get in and they have like a drag family, or they have somebody that kind of shows them the ropes or anything like that. Did you get into it more kind of on your own, or did you have people?
More independently, but I mean, there's definitely local queens that have had a very heavy influence as far as whenever I first, everybody has that. I wouldn't say I had a drag mom, but maybe a fairy godmother that kind of, heard me talking about wanting to get out and perform and kind of questioning whether or not I was ready. And she just kind of, took my hand and just said, here's where we're going to do it.
Right.
And it just all kind of fell together and made it happen. And but yeah, it's just in the process. I've met lots of different local queens that have all kind of played their special role in my heart and in my breastplate, which I'm not wearing today, but that's for the microphone's sake.
That's where you keep your heart and your secrets.
Yes.
In the breastplate. That's where I keep mine too. So what was, since you're just mentioning your first experience, what was your first performance like?
It was incredibly intimidating. I was really nervous, but at the same time, I felt good and supported. I didn't I didn't tell anybody, and I didn't have any like close friends or
Oh,
anybody
you were like,
there
if
for
I'm
the
Bob,
gig.
I just want to do this solo.
Yep. I said, nope, that's going to be my contingency measure. That is my safety net. If this goes south, then nobody has to know.
I'll be able to tell you about it, but you won't see
And
it.
you probably don't have any content to show me otherwise. So, yeah. So once I kind of got a feel for it and got a toe in the water, then I opened up and, invited some people out and shared it with them. So it was fun. But it was, my first performance was at Sidekicks. So
Oh, okay, yeah.
Main Street, Sidekicks Saloon. So they have an open night every Thursday for local artists.
And when you were developing your character, I don't even know if you did. Let me ask you this. So where does the name Delilah Sugarwood come from? How'd you come up with that?
That's an interesting question.
Should we both sip? All right.
So, have you ever heard of how to find out your adult content name? If you're going to be a porn star.
Oh, okay.
An adult content creator.
Yes, I will say adult
the name
content
of
creator.
your first pet and the street that you grew up on.
Oh.
Sorry, that took kind of a left turn. But so
Okay.
the name of my first pet was a bird named Dick. Because whenever, for my first birthday, my aunt, bless her heart, thought she was being so funny, bought me a pet bird. And so my mom this was before she got back in touch with her good Lord and Savior,
got
Jesus
saved,
Christ. And
no,
so she
yeah.
had a little bit more of a raunchy sense of humor. She was so mad that she had a 1-year-old and a bird now to take care of that she did not like, so she named the bird Dick. So originally it was, and then Sugarwood condominiums, that's where the Sugarwood comes from.
Oh, wow.
So
okay.
Dick Sugarwood would be the male.
Uh-huh.
Dixie Sugarwood would be the obvious female translation.
Dick Sugarwood is an amazing name.
I know.
The
I
double
know.
entendre.
So it is tempting. I can't. I won't. We'll see. But
Oh, man.
I know the duality, and then I chose to put on a wig and just bypass that one.
It's not a missed opportunity. It is
It's
just,
not. It's not.
It's something that's just sitting on the edge of realization. You just gotta figure out how to realize it if you're going to.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Don't nobody steal it. Nope. Don't. Okay.
Consider that trademarked.
Okay. Consider it trademarked right now. Do not use it.
So
It's got a purpose. It's coming.
yes, it does.
Because that is perfect.
It is. Dixie, on the other hand, that has some roots and some racial connotations that don't really fly
This
in
is
a
what
2024 enviement. So,
And thank you for recognizing. Thank you for noticing.
Thank you. And I do have to give a shout out to one of my best friends, Brett. We had a good long chat because there was, it was a bit of a learning moment for me, and he was the one that kind of brought that to my attention. So
I love that though. That's it's growth, and I also love that someone was like, "Okay, girl, let me tell you, this is why," because sometimes you just don't realize things, and that in and of itself is not a problem, but being able to like listen and have somebody explain it to you, and you go, you know what, facts, work, I got it, that makes sense.
yeah.
I love that.
So that's what that was, and it's been a nice thing to kind of carry forward and use that whenever people ask me like, oh, what about your name, and kind of have that a part of the story, and just be like, yeah, that's a no-no. And they're like, why?
Well,
I'm like, bless your heart.
bless your heart.
Let's chat.
Bless your heart. But let's go ahead and talk about
Yeah.
it. I love that.
So
Sugarwood, that is amazing. I'm trying to think, well, I can't because my first pet, I can't say that because then I can't say it publicly because it's actually a password to something. So yeah, I'm not going to do that. Also, somebody else already has that name, so I can't use it. And I don't think Buffum sounds good.
Buffum?
I'm not from Kansas City. Maybe it does.
It kind of works.
Dick Buffum.
Dick Buffum.
I love the way you said that.
Stage,
You
Dick
know
Buffum.
what? Don't take it. Don't take that either. Okay. I might have to use that. We'll have to revisit that later.
Yes.
So since we are talking,
Tune in later.
Tune in later. Tune in next time.
Tune in next time.
So since we're kind of talking about your roots, let's talk a little bit about the person behind the creativity. So what you mentioned that you were into gymnastics when you were little. You also make your own costumes. Was that something that, was that another part of your creativity growing up and, creating things, making things? Like, what were you really into?
Somewhat, yeah. I was always creative. I always was very, I drew a lot. I did lots of just paintings and kind of your typical arts and crafts, and loved having that a part of my life. And like my grandma, I remember she used to crochet, and so just different stuff like that. But I was never super into sewing. And so it's more like altering. Like these were a pair of, I zhuzhed them up and turned them into.
And you did.
Thank you. Nice. Lots of time with the scissors. But yeah, so it's not, I'm not the best at it, but I try to make it work. And
if
then
it stays together when you put it on.
Yeah. Amen. That's if it stays together when you put it on. Yes.
That's half the battle.
That's all that matters. And as long as my wig doesn't get caught in it. But yeah, so it's been fun. It's just been kind of a continuation and a further, another avenue of just arts and crafts and just creative culture to dive into, and just be like, okay, let's take on sewing and make some stuff.
Just get it in there.
Yeah.
Because this stuff can be expensive.
It is.
Okay. So that segues into that. So talk to me about the finance side of this and trying to fund this and trying to get paid, and how's all that work?
So drag itself is it's very big in Kansas City right now. I'd say it's going wonderful places, but there's not a whole lot of places that do drag or there's not a lot of queer spaces to offer performances all the time. So because it's expanding so much, it's very competitive. And so there's not a lot of, it's mostly starting out, it's mostly tip money. So it's challenging to kind of juggle. Like I've definitely been downtrending drag right now because I just have to invest in Zach and take care of work and paying the bills for full-time job that and doing all of that and taking care of work and personal life and family.
Because the bills are going to bill. They're going to show up no matter what. And you're having fun, you're twirling, you're having a great time, but...
Well, and the drag is contingent on it's funded by the full-time gig. So if you're not able to, put all or fill that basket, then it's not going to work out.
Then it's not going to work out.
Yeah.
So do you do anything creative for your regular job, or is it like...
No, not really. I'm a nurse.
Cool.
I'm a registered nurse, yeah. So
that's awesome.
Thanks. I specialize in neurotrauma.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so I did first 2 years nights working in an ICU, and that was really fun. And now I work in a step-down unit, so it's progressive care, and it's still neurotrauma, so we get the same patient population. But it's exciting. I just started charging and being a charge nurse and learning that. And so, it's really fun. So it's kind of wild, the duality of just scrubs to drag. It's
it's
fun.
You go from one gore and guts to another, essentially.
Pretty much, depending on the day.
Depending on the day.
Yeah. It's... But
I love seeing you work a crowd. Like, you're just really engaging, and you're very I don't know, when you're out there, you just seem like you're having the best time, like so much fun.
Thank you.
Like the people could be there or they could not be there, but they're there, and so you're paying attention to them, but you're having so much fun. Have you always been that confident?
No. No.
Does Delilah bring it out of you?
Sure, 100%. And it's cool kind of tapping into that whenever I'm out of drag and kind of feeling that that confidence or that little pep in your step the next day whenever you're just like walking down the sidewalk and just have your headphones in and you're just kind of loving a moment for exactly what it is, you know? And so it's a little bit cliche, I feel like, but because they always say that, you know, that you can, or what is it? RuPaul says something about that, how you have the power to tap into your drag at any point in your life and just be that person. And it's very true. It's and I don't feel like drag necessarily brings out a whole, like I conversate very similarly as, you know, out of drag, and it doesn't bring out a whole complete personality shift, but it's definitely fun being a ham and just, you know, kind of feeding into a bit and just, you know, having a little bit more jingle sound effects.
The sound effects always help.
Yeah.
So now, what is your favorite song to perform to? Like, is there a song that is your go-to?
The first song that I really like felt, I guess, Delilah Sugarwood's energy was Yes And by Ariana Grande.
Oh,
so
okay.
I've done that one a couple times.
We can't sing it here because we can't afford it, but I hear it in my head. That's about as much as we can afford.
It's fun. I like a lot of Ariana Grande. She's a really fun pop artist. So.
And what would you say is what Delilah brings? Like, what, not to put her in a category, but what do you feel that she brings?
Well, I hope I from what you've said, I kind of leave that up to you. You see it. I've heard people say that it just seems like I'm having a good time and just having so much fun, and I guess that's all I can hope to bring, because that's what it's all about. You know, it's interesting getting to know some of the local queens who do it very regularly and very routinely, and it's more of a job, and it's and it's sad to say that sometimes that can take some of the fun out of it, just because it's you know, it just kind of shifts it inherently, because it's more, for me, that's not what pays the bills, but for someone who's making a legitimate living off of it and busting their hump and, you know, doing the whole thing, it's a lot. And so it's cool for me to be able to utilize it for pure joy and just total like self-expression, and just being, you know, if I want to, if I've had a crummy week and I want to take myself out, and you know, like, it doesn't have to be my birthday for me to dress up any way, shape, or form, and I can have the time of my life, you know, like,
love that.
I can be queen of the night, because the night is whatever I want it to be.
It's yours.
You know?
She takes it.
Yeah.
I love that. I was going to ask you a question about, because there's a lot of queens, or, you know, newer queens, baby queens, that take the social media route. They're not out performing. They're not out in the rat race of it and trying to, in this competitive space, to perform. They're doing it on social media. Was that a conscious choice for you?
Going out and performing
versus doing it just on social media?
That's a good question. I guess I tried to kind of juggle both and have, you know, some online content, and just because that is such a pivotal way to get exposure and to just kind of get traction, and, you know, getting people to recognize you or have, you know, just a talking point, and, you know, being able to see what people are doing and find out about new ways of doing things. And so social media is definitely very pivotal in modern drag, but it's, I don't know, for me, it's about more than just the content, because I like that aspect of it, you know, like, I don't, I enjoy the followers and, you know, the exposure and the pleasantries that come with it and all that. Yeah. Sure, I can't deny that, but it's, you know, back to the joy and the fun of it. I love having conversations with people and getting to, you know, just have fun and just smile, laugh, and just socialize. So
get their reaction to what you're doing.
And even outside of like performance, you know, I love getting ready early and going out to dinner, or like just going out for like a drink or a happy hour, or just doing kind of casual things and just to just get that kind of energy in your daily life. Yeah.
And as much joy as this brings you, I know sometimes it can be an issue to find support, whether that be with your family or with friends who may not understand it, or within the community. What has it been like for you? Do you have a support system? Is there anybody that you look to? Like, how do your family feel about it?
I'm very fortunate. I have a really wonderful family. I've never met my dad, so that's always just been kind of a void in the picture. But my mom is my best friend. I love my mom, and we're very similar, but we're also very different as people go. But we have a really wonderful maturity through just our connection, and I think that she's grown to learn and love me as an adult gay man, and I have a lot of pride and respect for her as a very well-rounded and loving Christian woman, and I'm so proud of her for
that is awesome.
Her journey and growth. So.
Yeah, because I mean, a lot of people, obviously, you're aware, don't get that, and they may not have a whole lot of support, and so they have to rely a whole lot on the artist community for that if they don't have it with their families. But what I love hearing more and more is that people are getting that support from their family, from like their people that nurtured them and they grew up with. That's very, very important.
100%.
There is something to that.
We weren't always at that point. It's taken a long growing process, and there was definitely lots of strife and hardship, along the way. But at a certain point, we were fortunate that we both just had like-minded goals of just like nothing but love for each other, and so found our way back to good terms, I guess.
That's amazing. I love that. I do.
And then my friends are big supporters too. So shout out to them. Yeah, they show up.
They're gonna be at the gig. They're gonna have a drink. They're gonna bring that money, and that's what matters.
Yes.
Gotta have friends like those. Mm-hmm. So for you, what do you see yourself doing this? Like, is there a point in your life where you see yourself not doing it anymore, or are you just gonna do it as long as you can?
Probably won't. I don't have a timeline or a trajectory for it. It's just kind of for as long as it's fun, or as long as it serves me or grows me or makes me happy in some way, shape, or form. And maybe it'll transition into less performance and more just like helping others with different aspects of like theater, makeup, costuming, stuff. I don't know, because drag is so diverse, and there's so many different little facets to it. So the performing is a lot. I've had to be very mindful of my body and my back, and just stretching and just all of that kind of is behind the scenes stuff to putting on a show and doing the stunts and the tricks, and the flips and the kicks,
and the upside downs and the stuff.
Yes, all the things. So definitely have to be mindful of that, and so that's not going to last forever.
No, right, right. And at some point, you'll be a park and bark, and you can just do that. Get up there, sing the song.
Oh, park and bark.
No, I don't want to.
Not even a sing and stroll. We're parking and barking.
Hey, there's some people that can park and bark like no other though. Come on.
Yes, that's true.
There's some people that can work it.
True.
I will come to you and give you the dollars.
Yes.
You don't move, baby. I'll be over there. I'm on my way.
I'm a little bit too loosey-goosey in the hips, though. I get to sway in back and forth, and I can't help myself.
I'm going to be a bark and stroll.
yeah, that's what it'll be.
I love that. So what does, and you may have kind of already answered this question, but I really just want to ask it this way. What does success look like to you?
Happy. Just happiness. I mean, I think that's what everybody's biggest goal is. I think that different people have different priorities and ways of achieving that happiness, and it's not always wholesome, or it doesn't always have a longevity factor into it. There's definitely indulgences and checks and balances to what makes us happy, but I mean, to be successful, I think it's to have that wholesome, well-rounded way of living, and to be in tune with mind, body, spirit, family, friends, and work, and to have a good sense of purpose. And, with that, you feel successful.
Yeah, that's a beautiful answer. Because and while you were talking, I was thinking about Jinx Monsoon, for instance, where being in the nightlife and being in drags, a lot of opportunities to catch on to different vices, alcohol, and there's other stuff and other stuff. There's a lot of things to get into, and thankfully she's sober now, and she's doing a whole lot better, and a lot of people are coming out of that. But it's so refreshing to hear you talk so much about how you're really listening to your body, even as a performer, and being mindful of some things to try to keep yourself going. So have you had any experiences where you had to figure out how to balance being in this nightlife and trying to take care of myself?
Oh, 100%, because and don't think that I went out last night.
Yeah, you do what you do.
This morning I was definitely moving slow, so probably overindulged last night. So I'm not perfect by any means, but it's definitely something that I have to be considerate of, and that everybody should be considerate of.
Yeah.
And I think that just with kind of the focus of, or a lot of the focus being on lip syncing and performance with drag, there's it's kind of inherently around nightlife culture, and that's kind of lots of drinking, lots of vices. So it's easy to get caught up in that, so I try to, and it helps that I don't do it full time,
and it's not anything to say that to kind of talk down on it, because going out and having fun and having a drink, that's what it is, that's all part of it. But it's I know that sometimes it can take a darker turn if you aren't also trying to be okay, I'm gonna kind of pay attention to myself and my body a little bit, and the whole mind, body, spirit thing, getting back in touch with where do I need to be right now?
Yes.
This is fun right here, but where do I need to be right now? And that's really good to hear, because that kind of can help you with your barometer after having a great night out.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So you can get back into it and be cool. So you can keep having the joy and having the fun, and so it doesn't have to become work or become taxing or become a vice. Because then that takes the joy out,
Yeah, 100%.
That fully can. So what's next for you?
I've been considering doing Drag Survivor next year.
Ooh.
It's a local KC drag competition, so that would be really fun to dive into.
That's exciting.
I don't know if I'm quite ready or if I'll be able to give. I don't know, but it's definitely.
But considering it as a step.
Yeah, for sure. And I'd like to. I would love to just keep expanding and keep growing, just keep performing, and be cool to get a routine gig or something, and get a regular spot, and just get to know more drag artists, and just build a little drag family.
Build a little community. Yeah, that's the most beautiful part to me, is hearing when people have found community as an artist. So regardless of what you're going through, nobody has to be perfect. Nobody has to be doing everything right, but it does help to have community. And you've already got someone behind you. Your mom is supportive of you. You've got friends who are supportive of you, and you've found a way to find the joy and the balance of your work life and this. And I think that's really awesome. I think that's an amazing start.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
That's so sweet.
I think that's beautiful. I thank you so much for joining me today. I had a great time talking with you.
Oh my gosh, we're done.
I'm going to have you give your social media.
Talking with you.
I'm going to have you give your social medias and stuff too, but I've had so much fun talking to you.
Yes, I've had a blast talking with you. This has been so special.
We could have easily just kept going. But let people know where they can keep up with you.
So, I'm most active on Instagram. My Instagram handle is Delilah Sugarwood. And then for my other social media accounts, it's similar. There might be a period, Delilah period Sugarwood on some of them, but Period. Yes. But yeah, that's the best place that you can find me and keep up to date with where I'm performing and things that I have cooking and fun, goofy videos and shenanigans.
And shenanigans, yes. And definitely follow so you can find out what you're doing, where you're be, so that other people can support local drag, because that's very important.
Yes. Thank you guys for supporting a local drag artist, giving space for this all to happen. And yes, and go support local drag.
No, that's right. Need them coins so you can make some more emotional support ropes.
Yes. Everybody needs an emotional support rope, friend, animal, something.
That looks, I mean, I kind of want one now. So
It's very comforting. It's nice.
thank you, Delilah.
Thank you so much.
Many thanks again to my guest, Delilah Sugarwood, for joining me today. If you had as much fun as we did, make sure that you like, you comment, and you subscribe so that we can keep bringing it to you. New episodes of Getting Close Up air bi-weekly on Fridays, but also make sure to check out me and Dee as we give you the tea on what's hot and what's not with GCU reviews. You do not want to miss it. Thank you all for watching. You're the best part of all of this, and I'll see you again soon for another Close Up. I'll be checking for you. Bye.